A ratio table is a very helpful model in understanding division and in determining unknown quotients. A ratio is a comparison between two quantities. In this instance, if we consider that the size of the group is 16 from our problem, we have students that were placed into equal size groups, and 16 students were placed in each group. The size of the group, 16. And this representing the number of groups. A comparison can be made using this table until we reach our desired outcome of 192. If one group of 16 equals 16, two groups of 16 would equal 32 of the students. So this would represent that two groups have been formed of 16 students in each group for a total of 32 students that have been placed. From here, students find sometimes more efficient ways of solving problems. Of course, they could continue in the fashion of 1, 2, 3, 4, and continuing to list multiples of 16. However, they can also use doubling to help them arrive at the outcome faster. An example of this would be to double 2 to receive 4, and 32 doubled would get them to 64. Still needing to go higher to reach 192, knowing that so far we have 4 groups of 16 for a total of 64 students that have been placed, they might see that 4 could be doubled. If 4 groups of students equal a total of 64, 8 groups of students would be 64 doubled, or 128. If we tried to double this number at this point, we would go past our desired outcome. So from here, we could continue, even though we have not listed every comparison in the ratio table, we could continue counting up from ones at this point. If 8 groups of 16 are 128, 9 groups would be 16 more than 28, which would be 144. 10 groups would be another 16, which would take us to 160. 11 groups would be 16 more than 160 for 176. And a 12th group of 16 would be 16 more, which would take us to 192. So in the ratio table, we're able to see that with 12 groups, 192 students have been placed, representing the answer. With this particular model and with using the efficiency of doubling, students do need to have a deep conceptual understanding in order to have the flexibility in using the ratio table and having it work for them. This is a very common method used in finding quotients. Once the answer is determined, the quotient of 12, knowing that that would represent 12 groups being formed, the answer would be written in a complete sentence as 12 groups were formed and all students being placed.